This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Tom, as always, we love hearing from you on Tuesdays, and we're going to get a chance to talk some football, basketball, and baseball with you. I know you were you like Snaxx Johnson. I like Snaxx Johnson, but it sounds like he is entering the transfer portal, according to Brandon Marcello. That kind of caught me off guard, man. Did it catch you off guard yesterday?
Well, just a little bit. And, you know, with Snaxx, pretty high-strung dude, very emotional. I mean, he's in there in the end zone screaming during practices, you know, if they're on a pass breakup or something. So he's very, very emotional. And the fact is, Danico Slaughter was with the first team at Nickelback for the red-white game, and, you know, Snaxx was on the second team. So I guess he got cereal. And, you know, so many things can play into this. Playing time, NIL money, just, you know, what he hears in the locker room or from the coaches. So many things could play into it. But, you know, the portal is such a different world now that if a player, you know, hears something, you know, I might get paid this somewhere else, they can be gone. And so this one hurts because he's certainly a guy with a lot of experience. He started 11 of the 12 games last year. And great insurance if, you know, something happens to Danico Slaughter. So now, you know, your second nickelback is going to be someone with less experience. And
you mentioned the playing time, because I know that's what a lot of people cited. Do you think that was the main reason, Tom? Was it playing time, or do you think there's something else behind this? Because I know there's always speculation. Is
right.
It playing time the main proponent?
I have not talked to Snaxx, so I don't know exactly what was going on, but I'm sure it's a lot of factors. I mean, look, he's tweeted out before, you know, I'm a hog and all that kind of stuff. And if you saw on social media, Scooter Harris kind of called him out on that, which led to a little bit of a flap. But it's just the nature of the game now. You know, I mean, one thing they hear can set someone off and go, okay, I'll find a greener pasture somewhere else. I don't know what happened in this case, but you know, the days of getting really attached to a player and watching him through his entire career somewhere, that it's going to be a pretty rare deal. I mean, when K.J. Jefferson and Rocket Sanders had such huge 22 seasons, and then after 23 they're both gone, that's a pretty good indicator.
Yeah, and Tom, on that, the NCAA ratified a couple things yesterday, including the unlimited transfer rule. Long term, is that good for college sports?
Man, right now the NCAA and the entire structure of college governance is trying to get across how much they are for the player, because, you know, they probably heard a lot of player complaints from various studies and committees about the coaches can do this, that, and the other, leverage their school, get raises, all that, and I get it. But to answer your question, is it good for the game? No, I don't think it's good for the game. But I also don't think coaches making $11 million a year is good for the game. There's a lot of things, I think, that aren't good for the game that are happening in the game.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything any question about that. Tom, it was funny to hear Kirby Smart's comments a couple weeks ago. So we're talking with Tom Murphy, Whole Hog Sports, McCarty Daniel Hotline. He basically said, it's like, we don't have a reason to complain. Guys are making more money than they ever have. He's talking about the coaches. Assistants are living and can retire on their salaries. And yet we still see coaches complain about this. Do coaches have a right to complain anymore based on the amount of money that they're making each and every year?
Well, Ty, we are in the United States of America, and everybody has the right to complain. And if you look on social media, everybody is complaining. So, yes, coaches have the right to complain. But how valid they are, how many people are going to listen, yeah, that share drops when you consider how much they're making. Look, hey, man, these guys chose the profession. Some of these assistants are putting in unbelievable hours. It messes with your family life and all that, but everybody's chasing that dream. You know, everybody's chasing, you know, a big salary, a head coaching position, moving up, being a coordinator. And it's just part of the price of the game now. And, I mean, look, I could go on and on about what's wrong and, you know, a little bit about what's right with the game, but coaches, hey, Aaron Boone complained when he got thrown out because some guy in the stands yelled at the ump last night. You know, that happens.
What'd you think of that, Tom? I mean, I've never seen anything like that, and I'm not a Yankees fan. I'm a Yankees hater, basher.
Right.
I'll rip on them any chance I can get, but even I was like coming to the defense of Aaron Boone.
Well, you should, because it wasn't him. And the umpire, he didn't know who it was. I mean, it didn't look like a huge crowd. And so his ears were particularly attuned. And, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this other than say the ump shouldn't have done that. He didn't know who said that. He just thought Aaron Boone said it.
Yeah, I think it was pretty clear in the video that they put up after the fact, but at the time maybe it was a little more difficult to tell. Tom Murphy's with us here on the McCarty-Daniel Hotline, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Speaking of baseball, Tom, Razorback baseball team back in action. 5-0 all-time against UAPB, 9-0 in midweek games this season. Kind of got some intrigue on tonight. Jason Jones, who's an Arkansas Razorback, his brother is on the other side pitching for the Golden Lions tonight. Is that maybe the biggest thing you're paying attention to, or what else are you paying attention to tonight?
Well, that's a big one. Hey, look, the Golden Lions have a hitter named Dela Cruz. I think it's Edwin Dela Cruz, who's hitting .444, number 2 in the country. So will he hit Ben Bybee? He's hitting everyone else. How long can Ben Bybee last after getting knocked around by Texas Tech last week? That's a question. Will Jason Jones be in the starting lineup? If I'm Dave Van Horn and his brother's pitching, yeah, Jason Jones is in the starting lineup. They are casting about for anyone right now who can consistently get on base. And that's why we've seen these streaks of Ross Lovich playing for a while, Will Edmondson playing for a while, Peyton Holt now, just like he did last year, got another opportunity, and now he's in the outfield and he's playing. So, yeah, I would think that Jason Jones would get a start or at least get an at-bat tonight. And I don't know, the run rule will be obviously something that will be under observation. Hopefully, and I wrote about Kendall Diggs a little bit today in a notebook, hopefully the 2 doubles in the final game against South Carolina can get him rolling after his shoulder injury, because when you have a stud like him who's going to be in the middle of your lineup, he's got to start producing, and hopefully he's over the shoulder so they can start, moving toward the best offense they can be.
So on the ceiling approach you just took, the best offense they could be, this team can get on base. They just can't seem to bring guys home. I mean, Tom, what is the resolution to being a more timely hitting or team? Is there one that comes to your mind on that subject?
Well, hitting is a very complicated thing. And you'll have coaches and guys who are in slumps tell you how difficult it is. Like, I think Deion Sanders said this last year, that hitting in a baseball is the hardest thing in sports. When you're in a zone, you're just doing it. And right now, this team is struggling with runners in scoring. It was painful, those first 2 games against South Carolina, and then the weekend before at Alabama. So right now, they're clearly not a dominant road team. And if they're going to win, if they're going to get to Omaha, they're going to have to be a better road and neutral team. And clutch hitting is just part of that. And sometimes it can be contagious. They've got to get a Lloyd back hitting. He almost got a over 300, and he was for an at-bat or 2 against San Jose State a couple of weeks ago. Got to get him going. If he and Diggs starts to contribute more, then there's going to be more, guys on base, fewer outs when guys come to the plate. And perhaps, because I think they're quite a ways off from what their peak offensive potential would be.
What's Cal's potential at Arkansas? I think about that. That's a question that has been asked of me and probably you and so many others that cover Arkansas basketball. And I think people just assume, well, he did it at Kentucky, he can do it here. Is it a fair comparison? Is it fair to assume that he can go to a Final Four and win a national championship here in Fayetteville?
No, it is very, very fair. He's a great coach. I mean, point one, he's a great coach. He's done it everywhere in college, and there should be no reason to think he couldn't. And I think this will refresh him. I mean, I think the last few years at Kentucky's probably grinded on him a little. And I think we're going to see a roster start to come together. And he's a good game day coach. And he made it a point to say how much of a grinder he is. So we're going to find out. It's going to be a different style. He has his assistants talk to the media a lot more during game week and stuff. So we're going to have to maybe adapt to his style of talking to the media, which is ostensibly talking to the fans. But the potential is he could get Arkansas to a Final Four.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.